Hello, rockers and Mercuryans. Rock Mercury here. Welcome to the Rock Mercury podcast. I've got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to be drinking my shake and discussing the O.J. Simpson podcast I just watched. First of all, I want to say the podcasters were so disrespectful, but they also asked the questions I wanted to know. So I'm pretty disrespectful myself. So I can't really be too mad at them for being disrespectful. But it was the first podcast that OJ has done since he got out of his 9-year sentence, a while ago. So in Nevada, for trying to get back something that someone stole from him. It's a hot mess, such a hot mess situation. And then I also want to discuss some tweets that Jeffree Star posted on Twitter. Obviously, Twitter. Anyway, I want to discuss that as well because wow. That's all I got to say on that. Well, I've got more to say, but I'm going to get into that after I talk a little bit about this O.J. Simpson podcast. Should I go into... You know what? Let me start off with Jeffree Star. First of all, I want to just prelude this with O.J. did not do it. O.J. didn't do it. He didn't do it. I know that I'm making some flack for that. I don't care because I do not believe OJ did it. And I'm going to explain why I don't believe either. But I do want to get this tweet up so I can read the tweet directly that Jeffree Star posted today because it is super jarring, shocking. You'd be surprised Jeffree Star doing something shocking anymore. He's been out of the news for a while. Well, out of the main news. He still, does things that people are questioning. But, this right here, I want to read. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to read. So this is all from 9 hours ago. 9 hours ago he posted this. This is today, December 30th, 2022. So, and it's 8:44 p.m. right now. Central Time. Thank you, Shay. Shay says, you look so cute. Thank you, Shay. Y'all, this O.J. Simpson interview, you know what? Go to my Twitter. My Twitter is @PopRockMercury. I'm going to post it right now. I'm going to post this interview because I believe people need to see this interview. I mean, it already has 2.8 million views on it. So there's that. But I do want to go ahead and share. How do I share this from this part? Hold on, y'all. Hold up. Okay, let me see. Here we go. Share. I'm going to tweet it out right now. And it is tweeted. There we go. It's on my Twitter. @PopRockMercury. Or go to rockmercury.com. Click on Twitter and you can go to this day, December 30th, and you'll see that I posted it. Goodness, you guys. So, before I get into this interview, because it was a long interview, it says it was about, how long was this interview? It says an hour and 49 minutes, and I watched every second of the interview. Hour and 49 minutes. All right. Whew, goodness. So I'm going to get into just what I feel about that interview and how he talks about not being Khloe Kardashian's dad. I know people are lying, and he's not lying with anything he was saying. Okay. First off, let's get into Jeffree Star. I'm going to be drinking my drink and braiding my hair because I'm tired. My back is hurting. My back hurt. My neck too tight. My hip shaking from left to right. I'm in pain on this side over here. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm leaning. Maybe I'm leaning too much to this side, or I don't know what's going on. Maybe I slept wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have done that headstand I did yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't know what's going on, but I'm really hurting. But I am at 194 pounds. I'm on my way to my goal of 200 pounds. I'm very close. I'm only 6 pounds away from 200 pounds. That's my goal. I'm so excited. When I first got out here to Texas, I was 160, and now I'm nearly 200. So it's a great news. Looking healthier and healthier. Shay put an old man emoji on there. How dare you, Shay? Shay, you are so disrespectful. Thank you, Shay. Shay said I'm old because I'm having aches and breaks, and my body is just got the gray hair in here too. Shay, you ain't right for that. I'm only 30. I'm only 32. I'm only 30. I'm only 32 years old, Shay. Why you doing me like that? Okay, so let's read this Jeffree Star tweet. Now, this came out of the blue. It just came out of the blue. I mean, I know the New Year's is coming up, so maybe that's why he posted this. I'm not sure. This is kind of shocking. So he starts off saying, and I'm gonna censor my reading, of course, because I can't say some of these things on TikTok. But I'm gonna censor myself a bit. All right. So it says Jeffree Star tweets. What a crazy effing year. ... I escaped the Illuminati. Yes, he said that. I escaped the Illuminati in 2021, which is last year, and they still haven't unalived me yet. But he used the K word to say that. Unalived me. And they still haven't unalived me. Period. Every day I wake up grateful. Period. That's the first tweet. All right? Not done yet. Not done at all. We go on to the next tweet directly after this. Jeffree Star says, 2020, in 2020, I was going to expose everything. ... In a matter of days, the Hollywood elite tried to ruin my entire career. Villainized me and flooded the news with lies to discredit me. If you guys only knew the truth about what they are doing to Britney and Kanye, period. You know, that's very interesting because before the divorce was finalized with Kanye and Kim, they were saying that Kanye moved out to Wyoming to be near Jeffree Star and that they were dating. I never really believed that, but I thought it was interesting because I know who runs the media. And so it's interesting that story got pushed so far to the point where people immediately associate Jeffree Star with Kanye now. Like, it was almost like a trolling, like an ultimate trolling, that there was no proof, no evidence of any type. But some random girl on TikTok who made this random story up that had no proof at all, and even said they were joking at the end. But it got pushed so far. I wonder why. Let's continue. There's some more. Let's see, I think there's a few more tweets. So this one says, Jeffree Star tweets, anyone who challenges the system gets eliminated. Ooh. Slay BR, you get eliminated. Yikes. That's, okay. And then Jeffree Star comments on the ABC News, a story about breaking news. Police have arrested a 25-year-old man in connection with the Idaho College attacks, I'll say. Law enforcement sources tell ABC News. Interesting. Very, very interesting. He comments on this. So he says, thank God this was so horrific. Hard to fathom. If you guys don't know, that case was this bizarre case where these college students were taken out, unalived, mysteriously, in a very gruesome way. And nobody knew what happened until now. It's been a long time. It's been months, I feel like. At least, when was it? College. It's been a while. I'm trying to figure out when this happened. But it's been quite a long time for them not to have known even a suspect of who could have done this heinous attack. And there were people in the house when it happened. So it's like, how did they not know? Apparently there was so much eternal liquid coming out of the oh my God, thank you, Michael. So Jesus Thirst Trap's in the house. Jesus Thirst Trap sent me some corn and chili corn. Yes, that's right. Thank you so much. I love it. I'm sorry, I thought I'd be laughing and clapping after talking about this subject, but there's so much vital fluid that came out of that house after that horrific attack that it was just flowing out of the doors and the windows. That's what people were saying that happened. It was so dark. But anyway, so he commented, "Thank God this was so horrific, hard to fathom." So he mentions that in between his rant. Then the last rant he says, which is very telling, is the last thing he says is, Jeffree Star tweets, "I still have a soul. Can't say that about a lot of these demons I used to surround myself with." Ooh. Ooh. Los Angeles and Hollywood and the media, very soulless place. Very, very soulless. Very government ran. Not surprised by what he's saying. I'm surprised that he's saying it. He's been keeping himself out of the drama for a long time now. Since 2020, it seems like. I mean, there's just been some drama he's been a part of, but not a lot. Like, not compared to what he used to be. He used to be a part of all the drama before. He used to be a part of anything that was going on, he was a part of that drama. So it's kind of shocking that all of a sudden he's coming out with this and exposing the Illuminati, saying that they are trying to attack him, saying that he knows what's going on with Britney and Kanye West, Britney Spears and Kanye West, like what they're going through right now. As somebody who works in the industry, I've been working in the industry all my life, or most of my life. I know some stuff that's very disturbing. I don't know if he's talking about that particularly. I'm pretty sure he is at this point. Like, if y'all really knew how this media ran and the darkness that exists right behind your TV screens, I think people will go insane. That's probably why, besides me not wanting to be, taken out myself, part of the other reason why I don't really like discussing the truth of what I know is because I think people would actually lose their mind if they knew what was really going on. I feel like I nearly lost my mind. I had to grasp onto my mind with straws, trying my best to just hold it together. When I learned what I learned, when I saw and continue to see what I've seen. I don't know what I think that's all he said. That's the end of it. There's no prompt that he's going to. There's nothing else that he's saying. He's nothing. There's no other messages here. Shay says, "Can you send me an email and spill the tea?" You won't. Shay, do you like my well-being? Do you like me to be alive? You think I'm about to email anyone on a computer? Let me make something really clear to everyone watching. Anything you do online, digitally, is being watched. It's all searchable. It could be a text, it could be an email, it could be a phone call. All searchable. Dang, so at some point, I really feel at this point you can write something on a piece of paper and your phone, the camera on your phone can catch it, and that's saved. Y'all, we're in a whole other world right now. But Shay, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. It's really dark. It's really, really dark, and it's been dark for a long time. Think of the darkest thing you could think of, and it might be close. Maybe it might be close, but probably not even close to it really going down. I really wish I didn't know. I know that sounds stupid, people are I wish I didn't know, I actually really wish that I have not seen what I've seen. That's why I try to stay so calm now. That's why I try to just forget and focus on my music, focus on my art, just to distract myself from the reality. I do my best to just keep moving, because otherwise you're gonna actually become unhinged, and it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. You lose any ability you have to embrace this life, But, You know what, Shay? Shay says, we know they out here boiling cats. You wish that was all they were doing. You wish you gonna leave my friend Azalea alone. You gonna leave her alone. How you gonna do her like that? I can't with you. Okay, let's get into the next subject that we are gonna talk about tonight. As I braid my hair, I'm finishing up my shake right now. This O.J. Simpson interview and the disrespectful podcasters that I'm thankful for, but also they're just so rude. Like, they were told not to ask any questions about the big case that has overshadowed O.J. Simpson's whole life. And they continue to ask questions at the end, towards the end. And even after he said, I'm not going to touch on it, they continue trying to pry to get that question in. But the way they pried was just so disregarding and disrespectful. And yet, if he got up and just went pop across their face, then he would be the one that's like, oh, O.J. Simpson attacks. O.J. Simpson, oh, he's unhinged. Oh, They would get all that. They would get all that. So they were willing to just disrespect them after he respected them enough to even do this interview, this podcast for an hour and a half. And I feel like they buttered him up. These interviewers. Now the interviewers are. Let me shout them out, even though I feel like they were really rude. It's called Full Send. The Full Send podcast. I never even heard of them before. It's called the Full Send podcast. And I was just like, are you really on here? Like, first of all, he looks really great. OJ really is super hot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, OJ, yeah, OJ's looking really good. Yeah. He's looking really good. That's a side note, though. Somebody just made a comment on my post. I don't know why I showed him on the top of here, but I guess I'll look at that afterwards. Yeah. So I just really felt like, besides him being hot, I just want to just put that out there. He looks good. He looks good for his age. He looks good for whatever. Like, he's hot. Whatever, y'all. But that's not why I think he's innocent. Because he could be hot and very guilty. There's plenty of criminals out there that are. So, they start the interview off talking about sports and his sports history, which I didn't care anything about. But he was very comfortable talking about that. He loves sports. He genuinely loves it. He loves running. He was very just forthright and just talking about exactly whatever they were asking about, the different awards and accomplishments and the colleges and college sports and sports politics and all that kind of stuff. And then they kind of segued into the Hollywood life. He talked about how he got into acting by accident. I didn't even realize OJ was even, really that serious into acting. I mean, I guess maybe I should have watched more movies. But he talked about how he was an extra, which was interesting. A lot of people in Hollywood do background work and stuff. There's a lot of money in it. There's so much money in background work. Some background workers get paid more than actors do because they work more often. You can kind of blend in more in the background than if you're trying to get like a main role and get your little day rate that's a little bit higher than the background. Like if you're a background worker, you get paid like $150, $160 or something, and then as a main character or something, usually you get paid like maybe $500 or something. It's not that much more. Then you get residual depending on how big your part is, and depending on what contract you're under. Like, there's a whole part. Then your agent takes a percentage. So imagine if you're just doing background, you're constantly working and you don't really do nothing. You're just sitting on set and you get to eat and just do, some scene work. It's really simple, good money, consistent. So he was saying that a lot of the sports players would do that, on the off season. So he was talking about that, and that he got to know a lot of the, top producers and directors and everything, and ended up, acting in a lot of roles and going across the world and doing that. Like, this is, especially after he started getting more fame for sports. I thought that was interesting. Then he goes into like Hollywood relationships and how he would throw like different parties and for like, you know, celebrity parties and stuff. He was always in the scene. He went to everything. He said that there was always ski slopes on every table, if you know what I mean. Some good old powdered snow. Snow for everyone. It's winter always in Los Angeles, you know. There were definitely ski slopes there, and people were doing, they were enjoying the snow. They were enjoying the snow. Which I already knew that. I've seen so much in Hollywood. It's just be out there, out and just out. You know, it's a little different now. Now it's more other types of forms of these substances or whatever. It's a mess. I suggest you don't do any of it, especially nowadays. You don't know if something's going to be laced with something. So just be careful, and I would suggest staying on a straight and narrow, which he said that he was mainly on, but he did say that he would be lying. Anyone who said they didn't partake in the slopes, the ski slopes in Hollywood, were lying. And I think he's right, you know? Like, if you say you went to these parties and you never ever, like, did anything, you know, that's a lie. And I think that's part of how Hollywood holds things against you. That's part of how Hollywood, like, blackmails you in ways. Is that you're at these places and people see you doing things that the public doesn't know you're doing. Or that you publicly act like you never would do. That you're above this, but yet, you know, everyone's seen you do these activities. So, anyway, he talks about that. He talks about his relationship with Robert Kardashian, who is, you know, Kim Kardashian's father, Kris Jenner's husband, ex-husband, who passed away. You know, even before he passed away, she was already on to Bruce Jenner, who is now Caitlyn Jenner, who is now divorced from Kris. So, from Kris Jenner, yeah. All a mess, you know. He talked about getting stabbed in the back by Kris Jenner. He said that, he said before they were, like, you know, when Robert and Kris were together, Kris Jenner was an air stewardess, was a plane stewardess, and, you know, Robert Kardashian met her and told O.J. Simpson that, yo, like, I met the woman I'm gonna marry. And it was Kris Jenner. And he told, like, that's how close him and O.J. were. They would go on vacations together, all that. They were really a close family. He was basically godfather to all the kids. He did clear up that he is not Khloe Kardashian's father. He said that he thought that Kris Jenner was a cute girl, but he was dating supermodels, and he's basically said that Kris Jenner was not qualified to get the juice. She wasn't qualified to get the juice, and so there's no way he can be Khloe's father. I thought that was a good thing that he finally cleared that up in a way, like on a publication. That was interesting. I kind of believed that for a while, but he did say that there's some rumors going around that the father is the chef. Like there's some chef or something that is the real dad, and he kind of alluded to that. And I thought, like, you know, I've seen this chef. I've seen who they're talking about, and I can see that. I don't think there's any way that Khloe has the same dad as Kourtney and Kim. There's just that the genes are so strong in Kourtney and Kim. There's just no way. I just don't see that being the case. Even though Kris Jenner swears by it, which she swears by a lot of things that she's lied about. So, Hardy Joe says the juice. I can't. I can't. Hardy Joe says the juice. Shay says, I do think he messed around with Kris. No, I don't think he did. Like, why would he mess around with Kris? Kris isn't even hotter than these supermodels. You're messing with supermodels, and you're going to go mess with your best friend's girl who isn't even as hot as the supermodels that you're with on the movie sets that he's on. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And he was just, when he talks about it, he's just like, he's trying not to be even offensive to her. He's like, that's not my type. He really wants to say, I can't even say what he wants to say. He wants to say, that B? She is UGLY, ain't got no alibi. Like, that's kind of what he was trying to say. And I just was like, ooh, ooh, like no, he definitely has not. He has not messed around with Chris. You can tell in the interview. Like watch his eyes. Watch he. That's not who he was doing. um, and so, but like you said, it probably was the chef. If you see the chef and you see Chloe, they do look very similar. Khloe Kardashian and the chef that they had at that point. It was a family friend. I could see that being the one. I could see it. You can look it up online. There's some videos that compare it and show the two images, but I don't know. I would love to ask Chloe. I mean, I know Chloe has tried to silence me in the past. She tried to get her people to come at me and and try to get me on her side, basically, because I was saying too much at one point, and one of my YouTube videos got to her. But if I did speak to her again, I've worked with her before, but like I never would have ever asked her before because I really didn't even know about the rumors at that point. But even when I was with her, because I was with all the sisters, I was with Courtney. Well, Kendall and Kylie weren't there that day. Well, there's been different days. Like I haven't been around Kendall and Kylie as often. I've been around them, but not as. I don't know if I ever been around them while I was with the Kardashian girls. I think I've always seen them separately. Like they were at separate parties that I would go to, and a lot of celebrity industry events, and they would be there. We'd all be like literally in a tight room together. So, I mean, but I don't think Kim, Courtney, or Khloe were ever there when I was there with the Jenners. Anyway, whole different thing. But like when I was with all three of them, I was with Kim, Khloe, and Courtney, and just in person, you can immediately tell that she did not have the same dad. Point blank, there's just no way. Like, and she's the middle child too. No, she's the youngest child, not the middle. She's the youngest. Yeah. No. But anyway, OJ was like, nope, not me. Didn't do it again. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. He cleared that up. But he also said something very shady about Kris Jenner. That is one of the reasons why I'm very wary when it comes to me believing the Kardashians and the like trying to ignore the fact that they'll do whatever it takes for fame, anything it takes. He was speaking about after Robert Kardashian and Kris Jenner broke up. He was actually really shocked because he felt like they were such a beautiful couple, great couple together. That happens. People get shocked by like divorces and stuff. I get that. But he said that, they broke up, and then she was out there with Bruce Jenner, and she, on multiple occasions, was trying to get OJ to take Bruce Jenner out golfing so they can, bond, and, Bruce Jenner, wasn't, was kind of a shy person, very shy person back then, and so she just wanted him to get out, and just hang out with OJ and stuff. She thought that'd be a good thing, and so after a few times, the scheduling didn't work out. But at one point, Kris Jenner was at a pool that OJ was at, and she's like, oh, you know what? We'll be here. We'll watch the kids. How about you and Bruce go out and golf today? Don't worry about anything. We got you. He loves golfing already, so he's like, oh, okay. Like he's watching his kids. He's there, taking care of the kids. And he's like, he's just like hanging out at the pool. And he's like, okay, well, these are people who I know. This is family. He considered Kris Jenner family to him at that point because they've known each other for so long. And so he goes out with Bruce Jenner. He said Bruce Jenner was really boring. Like, not a bad person, nice person, but just kind of boring and didn't really like to talk mess about anyone or like, talk boy talk and stuff like that. He didn't really want to do any of that. And so, but he was an athlete, so they had fun. They had a little competitive, fun, golf course game. I'm not a big golfer, but it is the place you go if you want to meet some richies. But anyway, he does that, and fast forward years later, after all the case goes down and everything, Kris Jenner is asked about OJ's parenting while he's fighting for custody of his kids. This is after everything has happened, and he is the only parent left because the other parent passed away, as we know. So she's asked about that, and she has the audacity to say that she says like, well, I don't have much to say about his parenting. All I'll say is that we're at a pool, and he just abandoned his kids with me. He just abandoned them, and just went golfing and just left them there. Just left them. She was the one who told him to go. She's the one who like kept pushing him to go golfing with her husband at the time, her new husband, Bruce Jenner, which is a complete betrayal. Look how healthy my hair looks. Oh my god, it's so healthy. Yes, health. Yes, healthy. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it was just the drama of that. Like for her to say that on national TV, that he abandoned his kids out there, like he just left them at the pool area, and that's to be the story. He said that for the first time, he cried, like he cried about something that wasn't like a family passing away. He cried. He said he was just so heartbroken that somebody he considered family could just bold-faced lie like that and just twist the truth in order to be with the public. It's so twisted, y'all. Like Hollywood is just the most distorted, fake place ever. So fake. Such a game. Not even a chess game. Like a disturbing chess game. I can't even say the word. Anyway, and I was like, you know what? The Kardashians do that kind of stuff. They be lying straight out. They just ignore the fact they stole all this money from Brandy, allegedly. Let me put allegedly on there before they try to come sue me. They just ignore that. They ignore that they tried to set up Ray J over a tape that he had nothing to do with releasing. Like he had something to do with releasing it, but she was leading it. She was leading the release of those tapes. And so it's all really messed up. Like that like the snakery of it all. It's just so snakish and just awful. And then also he talks about, before I get into what he said about who did it, he talks about why he went to jail for 9 years. And people always say like, oh, he's so unhinged, like he went and stole something from somebody. It's like, no. Items were stolen from him while he was moving. Private items, family albums, and memorabilia, things that are his, that he owns, by somebody that he trusted, somebody he trusted enough, and to consider close friends with, to the point where when this person's family was sick or mother was sick, he would call every week just to sing to her and make her feel better. OJ would call. And these are like people who he really thought he was good friends to, And they had the audacity to take his stuff while he was moving, thinking he's around people who he trusts. Then they lied. The same people lied and said that, it was the movers who happened to be from down the southern countries. They happened to be from Mexico, and he said something that was very racially insensitive. That's what the person who took that stuff, like they basically tried to blame it on them when it was really these people, his own friends or ex-friends who took from him, and then he went to go get these things back. He didn't even have a weapon. The other person had a weapon, but because he was trespassing, but he was invited into the house, but it was still considered trespassing because he was there to get his things back. He got put in jail for 9 years. The legal system is distorted, and he still said that he trusts in the legal system. I don't know how we could do that. I can't imagine trusting a legal system that puts me away for taking my own stuff back that I find out was stolen from me. You have to be careful out here, y'all. People are out of control. People are out of control out here, y'all. They're really, they're dirty out here. They're doing dirty stuff. But anyway, so he made the best out of his jail experience. He could have got 9 to 30 years. He got 9. I can't believe he could even get that many years for that. Like, what in the world? That case is so bizarre, and everybody knew he got a raw deal because they felt like they were trying to get him in for what they thought he did to his wife. You know, the original case. They had it out for him. You know, he was one of the most famous people in the world, especially because of the case, but also just based off of his sports, fame. He was still one of the most famous people. He was on the Wheatie boxes and one of the top celebrities, and he was acting in big movies and just doing everything. So people knew about the case. They knew what happened. This was on national TV. Everybody watched this case unfold, and people felt some kind of way. People felt like he got off on that. So the jurors, there's no way for them not to be biased. They're like, they saw this as opportunity. In my opinion, they saw it as opportunity to put him away for what they thought he did back then, which he was proven not guilty for by a jury back then. But because it was so polarized, the story was so polarized back then. People had their own opinions, and they weren't able to separate them. But he still went through the 9 years of jail with, you know, his head held high, and he talked about his experience in there. Nobody really messed with him, but then the media would pretend as if he was getting beat up and as if he was in this all kind of disarray, just crying and just broken in there, when really he was working at the gym in there and, you know, making new friends the best he can, coaching a softball team, doing the best he can to make these 9 years go by smoothly. But they made it seem as if he was just going through absolute turmoil in there, which just shows you how the media will shift the story based on what they want you to believe. So he goes through that story, tells you about like how he got in, how he got out, how other inmates would have to convince their loved ones when they called the phone. They had to convince them that OJ wasn't in there getting attacked. Like it wasn't happening. He wasn't getting jumped. They had to convince them because the news was so strong with these fake stories that people were confused. The ones who were his fellow inmates, who were hardcore criminals. A lot of the people in there were life sentence, and he's just in there for a mistrial. Really, in my opinion, it's a mistrial. He didn't do anything. How do you steal your own stuff back? If something's stolen from you, you go take it back. How do you go to jail for that? And the state of California admitted that it is his, and he still was imprisoned, even though they admitted that that was his items. So bizarre. Like the court system is rough. Y'all do not want to end up in that at all. There's no reason to be in the court system. And so then they get into the situation with the case, and he refuses to talk about it because he said enough about it. He said that nothing he says is going to change people's mind. And then he did an Oxford interview, and like he did other stations. He did like an interview with Katie Couric and all kind of people, and he never asked them what questions not to ask beforehand. Now this podcast that he did that I'm talking about, he did ask them his team asked not to talk anything about that case at all. And they disrespected that and brought it up. You know, they thought they were slick. Then they acted at the end, like they did this whole interview with him. He was gracious enough to do the interview. And then at the end of it, these guys are like, oh, I was so close to him. Like, he could have pulled a weapon out. He could have done this to me. He could have done that. You know, just insulting him, being so disrespectful to somebody who gave them his time. Like, that's a very desired interview. Everybody wants to hear from OJ. And this is the only podcast he's done. And so they disrespected him, acting like, oh God, we were so scared. Meanwhile, OJ was smiles, very calm the whole time, wearing a pink blazer, just answering every question very clearly. It was just so disturbing to see these interviewers disrespect him like that. But he said that they asked him like who he thought did it, and he said, I'm not going into that at all. I'm not going into it. I'm not going into any of this. And he was just very stern on it, but he wasn't like mean about it. It's just like, nope, I'm not going into that. Like, I've already said enough about that. Like, if you want to go, like, look at what I said already. Like, that's in the past to me. It's not even worth it. He said he never watches any of the videos. He didn't watch any of the OJ documentary or any of the cases, like the multiple different stories and documentaries on the case. He didn't watch any of them. Some of them got awards for being so well done, apparently. But he didn't watch any of them. He said it'll make him mad to even watch it because he just knows there's so many lies in it. So many lies. So I thought that was very interesting. Very, very interesting that, like, this thing that everybody else is like, oh my God, this made me think he did it. Like, he's not even watching. He's not even concerned with the negativity. And they ask him at the very end, they're like, well, do you feel kind of bad? Like, you don't know who did it. Like, whoever's out there may do it again. And he's just like, I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. Like, he just kept respectfully saying no as they kept prying and being disrespectful to him. And he's like, obviously, that question is obvious. Like, we basically, yeah, of course I would like the people who did it to be caught. Like, this has plagued his life. Everybody thinks he did this. He never did it. But yeah, like, I always feel kind of iffy about it. There's so many people in the prison system that are innocent. But ever since he talked about it, ever since he got out this last time, at first I kind of thought he did do it, like back in the day, because that's what the news tells you. Like, public opinion just makes it seem as if that's the only option. He did it, and that's what it is. He just did it. But when I watched his first, like, video post on social media after he got out of prison, I was like, this man didn't do this. This man didn't do this. Like, either that or he's absolutely, off the rockers. But my like intuition was like, nope. He didn't do this. I feel that way. I really feel that way. Even the way he answered those questions, it wasn't like he was trying to hide anything from the case. He was just like, I've already been through that. He's already said everything that he can say about this case, and people are still going to believe what they believe because it's not even worth it. That's his wife we're talking about. You know, his wife, even if she was, even if she was having an affair, that was his wife, and his main wish that if he could change anything, he wished that he could have not been unfaithful to his 2 marriages. He wishes he could have been faithful. That's pretty solid. Everything in life that you just wish you could have been faithful. That's respectable. Like, I feel for him on that. Like, I never cheated myself, but, like, it's solid to realize how painful cheating is. And to wish you could have corrected that and not caused that pain. You know, that pain may have caused her to cheat and then ended up in a situation the way it did. For multiple reasons. Who knows? Who knows what happened in it? I actually kind of want to watch a real documentary on that case. Like a real... an unbiased one that just focused only on the facts. I feel like everything I've watched in the past has been, a little bit altered and has a bias one way or the other. Like, it's like, I don't know. I just want to see just the facts of the case. It was polarizing. It was everywhere in the nation. I think the big part of that case is the reason why we even care about the Kardashians at all. Like, they were involved in that case. They were best friends. He believed him. He believed in him. There's a lot to it. So, anyway, that's that. I really think you guys should watch this interview, this podcast. It shows you a different side of OJ that a lot of people have forgotten his humanity because they're so hell bent on thinking that he did it. But it's like, do you really know he did it? The media be lying to us all the time. Do we really know? I don't think he did it. In my opinion, OJ did not do it. And I'm very curious who did do it. But something tells me that Kris Jenner had something to do with this. But that's just my allegations. I don't know. I might be wrong. But something tells me. By the way, Kris Jenner was her best friend. OJ's wife's best friend at that time. They were so close. So, and Kris Jenner has been known to be sketchy. So, I don't know. Allegedly. Okay. Last thing I want to touch on before I get off of here and rest my back, rest my shoulder. I'm so tired. Last thing I want to chat about is Andrew Tate getting out of prison or getting out of his lockup. They arrested him, and now he has apparently done bail, and he's back on Twitter saying that the Matrix. What he said? Let me see exactly what he said today, because I love me some Andrew Tate. I know people don't like him. I don't care. I like him. I think he's really solid person. He said the Matrix sent their agents. That's what he said when they arrested him. The Matrix sent their agents, and they accused him of these things that I don't think he did. And he even said before in an interview that I listened to earlier that they're going to try to accuse him of things that he would never do, and as long as he has people in his life and people in his fan base who understand that these are false accusations, that he feels safe still. He feels like people will stand for him against these lies and injustice. And so thankfully he's out. He said the Matrix sent their agents, which they sure did. Then he reposted Elon Musk's post of Neo from the Matrix with all the green numbers behind him and all that. It's like a picture, an image of it. It says, "What if I told you the only way to escape the Matrix is to unlearn everything that you have been taught and rebuild your entire belief system based on critical thought and analysis?" What if I told you the only way to escape the Matrix is to unlearn everything you have been taught and rebuild your entire belief system based on critical thought and analysis? That's deep. That's really profound. Shout out to Elon Musk for tweeting that. Andrew Tate then says, the Matrix will only tell you what the Matrix needs you to believe. The Matrix will only tell you what the Matrix needs you to believe. Take that how you want to take it. This dude is like, I'm with him. I'm definitely with him. I know people think he's misogynist, whatever. I don't believe that. I think people are mad that he's telling the truth. And some of the things I don't agree with all the way, because it's like, I think that he holds men to a lower standard at times when it comes to infidelity and like, monogamy, or I guess he doesn't even believe in monogamy for men. But I still understand where he's coming from on the bigger picture. The bigger picture. He compared himself to Morpheus in the earlier interview, saying that he's still looking for his Neo out there, or somebody who's going to be able to affect the Matrix even more than he is. Like he's past this. He's way past this realm, and I believe that. I do believe that. I get that energy from him. It's different than some of the other people who think they're woke. He's speaking different. It's a different kind of situation. So I hope for safety for him. I have no hate for him. Nothing but safety and a hedge of protection around him, I hope. Because we need people like him to continue waking people up. So that's what I'll say on that one. What else I want to say? I think that's really about it. Yeah, I'm super tired. I think that's about all I wanted to talk about at the moment. But yeah, y'all. What a match. OJ didn't do it. OJ did not do it. Andrew Tate's free. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We love it. And Jeffree Star survived the Illuminati. So that's our main topics of today that we had to talk about. And I just... never a dull day in this life. Never a dull day. So, alright, rock on Mercuryans. I hope you guys all have a bright future. I need to rest my back. I'm tired. Put my hat on. Where's my hat at? Oh, even turning my neck hurts. Oh my gosh, I need to really like stretch myself out. Alright, thank you guys for watching. If I triggered some of you guys and made you guys upset by what I've been saying, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to speak my truth. But if you don't agree with me, please go to the comment section and tell me why you don't agree. You know, some of y'all, I know y'all can't comment on here because this is subscriber only, but feel free to go to the comment section and say anything you want to say. It doesn't even have to be about that video, because the algorithm, it helps me anyway. And I see every single comment. In fact, I saw a comment that came through while I was on here, and I'm going to respond to it after I get off of here. So I'm watching your comments. I'm responding. You are heard. You're just not going to be heard unless you're a subscriber. You won't be heard on my TikTok live because I have to protect myself against the trolls. I'm not scared of anybody. I don't care. I just got to protect my platform. I have paying subscribers on here, and I don't want them to lose their ability to connect and be on live with me just because some trolls want to mess my account up. So we're going to keep the subscriber mode only. Please stop messaging me. Take the subscriber mode off. Take the subscriber mode off. No. Stop being poor and get a subscription. Or don't, and just message me on the comments. That's okay. If you want to stay poor, keep messaging me on the comments. That's fine too. I love it. I'll respond to all of them. But we're not doing that on this live or any of these lives. So thank you, Rockers and Mercuryans. I hope you guys all have a beautiful night. I'm so sleepy. Tomorrow's New Year's. It's the New Year's Eve tomorrow. Yay. My grandma's making gumbo. I'm not touching any of it because I don't eat seafood. I don't eat any meat. So, but good for them. Yay. I wish it was some vegan gumbo. Ooh, that'd be so good. But anyway, rock on. I'll see y'all on the next live. Peace out.